Welcome to Exploring with D-Rob. Let's go. Welcome back. Down in the big South Fork this morning on the Tennessee side. Going to head out and check out Twin Arches. One of my favorite hikes on the Tennessee side of Big South Fork. A couple really nice large arches. Pretty good scenery along the way. A lot of off-trail stuff in this area too. It's still snake season, so I'll be skipping that today. We'll just do a little kind of loop down to the Twin Arches, check them out. Then on the way back out, may stop by Pickett State Park and hit a couple of short little hikes there that's right off the road. Well, this is nice to see. Just one vehicle here in the parking area. Likely someone camping. Today is a Sunday, so I figure by the time I get back out of here, it'll be getting pretty busy. This is a pretty popular trailhead. For directions for Twin Arches, you can Google search Twin Arches Trailhead. It'll give you turn-by-turn directions to get here. It's about 6 miles or so of gravel road once you turn off the blacktop. Nice little drive getting back here, but looks like I may be the first one on trail this morning, so let's go ahead and get out there. Right off of parking here, you got restrooms. Here's the trailhead. You got a couple picnic areas here. And then the parking area's probably got parking for roughly 25 or 30 vehicles. As I mentioned, here's the trailhead. Signage says 7/10 of a mile down to the arches. It's under 2 miles doing the little route we're going to do today. Signage telling you a little bit about the arches. Let's head that way. Barely got started in the trail here and I already ate 3 or 4 spider webs, so definitely ain't been nobody out through here this morning. There's several trails off of the Twin Arches trail here. You can connect and go on down to Cherry Creek Lodge. There's a loop trail takes you out towards Andy Creek, brings you back down towards Middle Creek and Station Camp Creek, comes back down towards Cherry Creek Lodge as well. So if you're looking for some trail, there's quite a bit off of the Twin Arches trail here. Being a weekend day, I wanted to get down here early, so it's about 30 minutes after daylight. As you saw, the trailhead parking was pretty much empty. Had that one person camping. So if you come early down here, even on a weekend, you have very few people. I'd say by the time I get back out of here though, unless it was to start raining, there'll probably be several people at the trailhead by the time I get back. Something else to keep in mind, still warm weather months. Aside from snakes, it's this is the Tennessee side of Big South Fork. Seems to be a lot more bear in this area, more so than the Kentucky side. So just be bear aware while you're here. My first bear encounter on trail was actually less than a mile from here. over towards Hatfield Ridge Arch. So there's definitely several bear in the area. Roughly 3/10 of a mile into the trail, come in this little trail junction here. See Twin Arches with an arrow pointing each way. If you go to the right here, this will bring you out on top of the arches. You'll go down a staircase and come down between the arches. Or you can go left, which is the way we're going to go. And this will bring us in below the arches. Make a little loop out of it. Barely out of sight of that trail junction, you'll come over and we have a staircase. It's almost more like a ladder, so I usually turn around and go down backwards on this like I was climbing down a ladder. Some people will probably have no issue facing forward coming down this, but kind of have big feet. If I come down face forward, I pretty much set my heels on the stairs, so that's why I usually come down this backwards. Right after the long set of stairs there's a shorter one here. Not quite as steep. I mentioned there were some off-trail arches. A couple of those, if you was going to visit, is around this cliff line around through there, roughly quarter to a half a mile probably. Got Matt D's arch and the Molar arches. Seems like there's a couple other smaller arches. Not going to go there today. I'm going to continue straight on out through here to the Twin Arches. This is my third or fourth visit to Twin Arches, but I want to say it's been probably over 2 years since I was here last. One upside to making this little loop coming down this way, you get to follow a really nice cliff line out around through here to the arches. Another really nice section of cliff line here. You see how tall these cliff lines are. Kind of gives you an idea how big the arches are going to be. Roughly half a mile from the trail junction we came to, or we came below the cliff line, you'll come around to the North Twin Arch. As you see, this one spans 93 feet and is 62 feet high. Still a lot of greenery in the woods, so it's a little obstructed, but still get a pretty good look at North Twin Arch. Go over to the other side and set the camera up, see if I can't get a few shots. Decided to go ahead and get a few shots from the other side. Here's what the arch looks like from this side. Try to get a few photographs from this side. Afterwards, we'll follow the trail on around that way. Take us around towards the South Twin Arch. Of the two arches, the South Arch is the largest, probably got a little more interest to it. But as far as being photogenic, I believe the North Arch is probably more photogenic than the South. As I mentioned, you got several trails that connect to the Twin Arches Trail. If you go to the right here, this loops down and around. This will take you out towards Andy Creek, on down towards Middle Creek, and eventually on around to Station Camp Creek and back around to Church Creek Lodge. There's a few trails that cut off of that as well. As you see, one of them says Slave Falls is 3.5 miles. Several off-trail arches around that loop as well. Scorpio, Cowboy, just to name a couple. But I'm gonna head on around to the left through here. Arrow headed pointing towards Cherry Creek Lodge. This will take us around to South Twin Arch. And if you see a staircase coming down there, we'd went to the right at that first trail junction. This is where we'd have came down to the arches at. As you come past the stairs, you come to the next trail junction. This is where you can cut left downhill, head out towards Cherry Creek Lodge. Step on down here. Sign here's a little wore out. This is the one telling you a little bit about South Twin Arch. It says the height is 103 feet, 135 feet span. A little obstructed from the sign, but it's a really nice arch once we get over there. Let's go check it out. As you'll notice on your approach, this arch is significantly larger than the North Arch. Got a lot of nice texture in the sandstone here as well. If you look over towards the back, you'll see a split in the rock there. There is actually an opening back through there we'll probably try to go check out. Kind of a fat man squeeze through there, brings you out on the back side of the arch. You can get set up, try to photograph this thing real quick, see what I can come away with. I guess what makes the South Arch a little less photogenic than North is where it's so large and you can't really get away from it for the trees and stuff, so a little limited on where you can shoot it from without being obstructed. Really nice arch though. You want to step through the arch and see if I can get anything from the back side, and then we'll go check out that crevice that cuts across the back of the arch. As you can see on this side, a lot more saplings and small trees. So it's a little harder to get a shot from this side. Here's a look at what I got for a comp. Take this, see how it looks. I can hear some people coming down the trail, so go ahead and try to wrap it up real quick here shooting these arches. One last look at South Twin Arch. Got my camera equipment put up, so let's go check out this split back here. Little cave area. Wrong setting. There we go. Now we can see where we're going. This rock to the right is completely split away from the arch, so this isn't another arch. And as we come down to the exit of the whole slot here, we get to the Fat Man Squeeze part. I'm going to attempt to video this I may have to take my pack and everything off, so I'm not sure. It's not going good so far. Let's pause and take his pack off. Now let's see if I can fare any better here. Throw everything down, I guess. Fat man and a fat man squeeze. Got a little drop down here. Probably gonna have to sit this stuff down. Definitely a fat man squeeze on this end. Had to take my pack off and then had to wrestle it through there just to get it through there. Once you come out of the split there, you can circle around this way or this way, either one. That'll take us back around to the other side of the arch, unless you want to pass back through the crack there. As you come back the way we came from the arch, come back to the trail junction that takes you down to Cherry Creek Lodge. I'm gonna stay to the left. I'm gonna take the trail up between the arches here. And I said I wasn't going to any off-trail arches, but there's technically one. And under the trail right up here. So you'll come up this little short set of stairs. See this longer set of stairs we're coming up on. And if you step right here to the right, try not to fall over these tree roots. Come out the stepchild arch. Literally goes right under the stairs. Everyone's favorite stairs. Don't worry, there'll be more than this in a little while. I'm gonna take these up to the top of the arches here. Then we'll make a left and go check out an overlook on top of the south arch. As you get to the top of the stairs, you see this little boardwalk takes you over to the rock outcrop there. Trail continues that way. Goes back across North Arch, North Twin Arch, and back towards parking. If you look to your left though, you see a little user trail. I'm gonna follow this up through here. So it'll take us up on top of South Twin Arch to a pretty nice little overlook. Nothing too crazy, but you do come to a little section of roots and exposed rock here. As you come out on top of the rock, we're above South Twin Arch. This brings you up to a pretty nice southwest facing overlook. If you're camping in the area, or if you feel like walking out in the dark, it'd be a really good place to catch a sunset. Just check photo pills as well. This would likely be a great spot to catch Milky Way, if anybody's into astrophotography. nice look from the overlook here. Gonna cut back across the top of the arch here. Go back down the way I came up. Back down to the top of the stairs. Coming back up on the top of the stairs here. It takes us down between the arches. Sounds like there's more people down below the arches than it's went up to the overlook. Sounds like I hear more people coming from the trailhead as well. Good thing I got here early, I guess. Cut across the top of North Arch. We'll come to a really nice long set of stairs here in just a minute. As I mentioned, coming up between the arches, we'll encounter a lot longer set of stairs. We've reached that destination now. Fun on fun. If you come to do this hike, be sure you like stairs. If my count's correct, 60 stairs on the way up. After the long set of stairs, as you follow the trail back towards parking, it'll gradually come back downhill a little bit. As you come around to the first trail junction we started at, made the little loop down below the arches. Coming back up on our first trail junction where we cut down to the left. When you get to this point, you want to stay to the left, head back up towards parking. Kind of a gradual, roughly 3/10 of a mile back to parking from this intersection. I was pretty excited this morning when I saw the temperatures were in the upper 60s and wasn't supposed to hit 80 till up in the evening. What I didn't account for was 100% humidity. I'm pretty well saturated. I guess I didn't see this on the way in because it's still kind of dark, but this is an active yellow jacket's nest. Not sure if you can see any of them buzzing around the opening there. Saw a few when I walked past. Definitely don't want to mess around with that. Coming back up on the trailhead now. If you do the loop down below the arches, go through the back of South Arch and then up to the overlook on top of South Arch and loop back around to the trailhead, right at 1.8 miles. And it looks like there's 3 vehicles here now besides me, as well as the campers are down there. I'm gonna pack up, head back over towards Pickett State Park, check out a couple areas close to the road. After leaving Twin Arches Trailhead, just follow back out Twin Arches Road until you get back out to Divide Road. Once you get out to Divide Road, you want to make a left, head back out towards Highway 167. Follow Divide Road for roughly 4 miles back out to the main road. Once we get to the main road, we'll be making a right and head back up towards Pickett State Park. Gonna head roughly about a mile back up the road here. First trailhead and parking area we'll come to. Off one side of the road, we'll check out Hazard Cave. Real nice arch opening across the front of that little cave. And then on the other side of the road's called Indian Rock House. We'll try to check out both of those. As I mentioned, Hazard Cave and Indian Rock House is right across the road from one another. Park here in this roadside parking area. Since we're already on this side of the road, go down here and check out Hazard Cave first. Signage says it's a 1/4 mile to the rock shelter. As you come down a small set of stairs, come down to this signage. It says Hazard Cave to the left, Natural Bridge to the right. If you wanted to, you could just park from here and go on up and check out Natural Bridge. But I think after we check out Hazard Cave and Indian Rock House, we'll just drive up to it. So we're gonna cut to the left here and go check out Hazard Cave. Really short trail, don't take long at all to get down here. As you come down, first look at the rock shelter here. See a little wooden boardwalk here. Kind of keeps you out of a muddy area. Big long cliff line down through there. A lot of geology. This is definitely worth the stop to check out. You'll see this one little section fenced off here. This is where the Cumberland sandwort grows. I see a lot of snakeskin liverwort in this as well. None of it's in flower, but this plant right in here, I believe, is the protected sandwort they're talking about. As you walk along the cliff line out through here, you'll see it start to open up. This is the rock shelter that's Hazard Cave. It's technically just a big rock shelter, but probably deep enough to be considered a shallow cave. Can't really tell right now, but this section across the front right here is actually an arch. You'll see the opening once we step on up inside the cave. Not sure how well it comes across on video, but per usual with large rock shelters, it's easy access, and caves, got a lot of graffiti here in the back. As you look down towards the opening, you can see the arch across the front there. It's Hazard Cave. Really cool area here. One last look at Hazard Cave. This is a sandstone rock shelter cave, so inside of it's a lot of, some spots is pretty deep sand. Gonna backtrack up the same way we came, and we'll go across the road and check out Indian Rock House. As I mentioned, Indian Rock House straight across the road from where we parked at. It's roughly a few tenths of a mile, about like the Hazard Cave hikes. We'll run down here and check it out real quick. Best I can remember, there's no stairs on this side. Thinking it goes down through here through a little switchback, gets us below the cliff line and then back around to Indian Rock House. And that was correct. Do a little switchback. And it brings us back out down through here below the cliff line. Like Hazard Cave, trail brings you down next to a really nice, colorful cliff line over here. Not so much geology as the Hazard Cave side, but got some real nice reds in the sandstone. Follow around through here. I'm thinking up in the rock shelter around through here somewhere, I remember them being an arch. So we'll check it out when we get on over there. I'd say, judging by this wet area here, if you was here either right after a really heavy rain or during some rain, get a little waterfall off the front of the rock house here. Like the rock shelter at Hazard Cave. Also got a fenced off area here. A little more A little bigger patch of the sandwort here. Once again, none of it's in flower. I'd like to see some of it in flower. Looking at the sign there, it's got a nice little white flower on it. Here's the arch I mentioned. Not sure if you can tell a whole lot about it here on video or not. If there was light hitting through her a little better, you could tell that there was an opening there. Definitely not a photogenic arch, but an arch nonetheless. Now, honestly, I don't know if it's called Indian Rock House Arch or even if it has a name, but if I can find a name for it, I'll pop it up on the screen now. As you can see around through there, Indian Rock House is just a really nice big rock shelter. Not as deep as Hazard Cave, so this is not classified as a cave, it's just a large rock shelter. Here we got one last look at Indian Rock House. Forgot about this and walked right by it on the way in. This is actually a small arch too. You got the opening here behind it. Little crack runs up through there. Again, not a huge arch or super photogenic, but an arch nonetheless. Just gonna backtrack the way we came in, back up to parking, and we'll drive out the road maybe a quarter mile or something like that and check out Pickett Natural Bridge. I misspoke earlier. This is Highway 154 once you get into Tennessee. It's 167 if you're in Kentucky. Once you hit the state line, it turns to Highway 154. So I apologize for that. Highway 154 Natural Bridge is also the name of the natural bridge here that's roadside. So we'll go down here and check it out. Sounds like there's a large group and a bunch of kids, so I'm just gonna take my phone. Ain't gonna bother getting my pack or my camera out. Go down here and check it out. Here's a look down on top of the natural bridge. Come down this little space with stairs in the cliff line. If you look down to your left, this would be the trail you would have came up if you came from Hazard Cave. Gonna head on over and check out the natural bridge. Glad that large group moved on down the hill. I think I've got the natural bridge out on myself for the time being. Got a little rock shelter there behind the bridge. Highway 154 Natural Bridge. This is definitely the easiest arch to get to in the area. They're literally a stone's throw away from the road. Here's a look from behind the arch. Really large span on this one. One last look at Highway 154 Natural Bridge. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today's adventure. We got to check out Twin Arches and some of the stuff in that area. Then we got to check out a few roadside attractions here at Pickett State Park. Hope you enjoyed today's adventure. If you would, be sure to give me that like. It helps out the channel. If you haven't already, consider subscribing. Hope to see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching.